Affairs are basically built on the concept that it's a secret. The secret is what keeps the tension there, which keeps the addiction going because nobody knows. But with emotional affairs, and since they're so common, and I'm seeing so many now, there are things we know. It isn't a big secret. We can sort of predict them. There's 4 personality traits of any partner who has an emotional affair. And I'm suggesting, just to save your marriage, to keep your marriage going, to keep the honesty and open communication, that you talk to your partner, especially if you see one of these. And when I say talk to them, I mean don't attack them, but just explore it. Have you noticed? I'm curious. Words like that, where you're not making assumptions, but you are trying to gain more information about why they feel the way they do or why they behave the way they do, is going to help bring them awareness to what they're doing and that you see it. And secondly, it's going to help give you answers. Maybe you're assuming something that is affair-like and it's not. It's something deeper that they haven't been able to confide in you. So let's go through these traits. The first one, if someone crosses the line, the partner who is more likely to have an emotional affair does not stop them. So let's say somebody starts texting your partner in the middle of the night. Your partner doesn't stop them. Like they allow it. They make excuses so they can have more of it. This is a person who is showing you up front that they are not good at practicing one-person monogamy. They are showing you that they need something else. And I'm telling you this because this is the number one thing that therapists see. It's a number one complaint among the partner. They text this person from work, or this coworker or friend texts at all hours of the night, and my partner takes it. Secondly, you yearn for the feeling of a new relationship, excitement, as soon as the honeymoon stage ends. So this is a person who is very needy of the highs they're getting from the relationship. So when those highs begin to dwindle, and they will, I don't care who you're married to, you eventually get back into real life. You have to work, you have to make money, you have to, look at the house, what's happening, what do you need, what home projects. You have to take care of kids. Usually there's a baby. So when I say that if you have a partner who is always looking for the next exciting thing in the relationship, or else they start looking outward at other people, in other words, they need other people to entertain them, this is a predictor of an emotional affair or a physical affair, but mostly emotional, because most of the affairs that myself and other therapists are seeing right now are the EAs. We're seeing the emotional affairs because of COVID, because of quarantine, and just because people are talking to other people in other states, other countries, and that opens up many options for people who need this thrill of a relationship. Thirdly, if your partner lacks self-esteem and they feel like they need continuous validation, does your partner ask you all the time, are you sure? How do I look? Do you love me? This is a person who needs constant reassurance. And usually, if you need constant reassurance, it's because you're low on self-esteem. The best thing this person could do would be to get involved in a project or find something else to help fill them. Maybe join a church or join a project of giving back, volunteering, homes for habitat, whatever it is. If you could do that as a couple, your partner is maybe going to be able to enlist validation from what they're doing. These people have no capability of being reassured from just what you're telling them. They need it from other people. They need it constantly. If you think of a vase that is running dry of water and you put water in it, but it's got a crack, a slight crack on the bottom, so water is continually running out, you'll have the idea of someone who constantly needs reassurance and validation in a relationship. And lastly, you feel like your partner doesn't understand you, so you share intimate parts of yourself with someone else. This probably the second most common thing I hear. People will tell me my partner doesn't listen, my partner doesn't understand, and that's why I had to confide in somebody else. And they will confide in someone else because remember, they don't have the ability to say, no, I am betraying my marriage. I am betraying my partner by doing it. These 4 qualities in a person will basically predict what they're going to do in marriage. So if you have this partner, if you're married to someone like this, I think shoring up these shortages of what they have, like boundaries, it's a clear boundary violation to be taking calls all night. So if you guys would set a time when the phones were all off and maybe come together in the evening, talk about things, you're going to be more likely to prevent this from happening. The bottom line is, when someone gets involved in an emotional affair, it is very rarely any of the partner's responsibility, because we're adults and we enter relationships as adults. Unless you married someone very emotionally immature and just like a charmer who wasn't really invested, anyone who you marry should have enough audacity, enough character, enough integrity to remain sacred to that vow they gave and took. So I think it's very important that you go through these things and you talk about them. When people hear these lists, usually they go, well, I don't want to bring that up because then I might actually cause it to happen. That's a fallacy. When you bring things up and you talk about them and you share them with your partner, usually you prevent other bad things from happening. So in this case of emotional affairs, since they are so easy, since they are so common, I would talk to my partner about this. And don't forget, the most vulnerable time of any relationship, marriage especially, is the first 2 years. The first 2 years is when the marriage style is getting established. That's the time you want to really have this list handy so you can go through it and begin to work together on saying we do not want this in our marriage, so we're going to prevent it.